What is going on, everyone? I am super excited about today's episode. It is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to bring you guys along. We are going to be doing so much at the farm today. We're going to be planting a very, very special crop that a lot of you have been asking about that I'm really excited about planting. We're going to be taking delivery of our new tractor, and we're also going to be making a little harvest of something that I've been wanting to harvest. I've been looking at for a long time. I might be looking at right now, in fact. It's our sunflowers. We're gonna harvest some sunflowers. Let's go. So a couple months ago, I was reached out to by a viewer of the show, and she grew saffron crocus in her garden. And she asked me if I would want to grow some saffron crocus. Now, for a long time, we actually carried saffron crocus on the online shop for all of you to plant in your gardens, but I've actually never considered planting it only because it takes so much saffron to get a harvest. In my opinion, it's a fun crop. It's just maybe more of that fringe novelty crop to grow. But then once we got the farm, I thought, we got tons of space, and I've always wanted to plant some flowers out here at the front of the road. Now, we're gonna be planting a lot of daffodils and stuff like that in probably about a week from now. We have some daffodils that I ordered that are gonna be planted very late. I mean, it's like the end of October late. But as I've always said, it's better to plant too late, sorry. Way better to plant too late than it is to plant too early. So I'm gonna get them in the ground. And so I told her, I said, yes, we'll take them. And so I've got them in my hand right here. I've got the saffron crocus that she sent. So thank you so much, Avery. I really appreciate you sending these out. I'm excited to plant them. And if anything else, I mean, if we got a harvest, great. But if anything else, it's just a really cool bulb that's gonna bloom early in the season, and it's gonna give us a bunch of beautiful color here at the front entranceway to the farm. So to get these bulbs planted, we're gonna be using one of my all-time favorite tools for planting bulbs. That is a power planter. They make quite a few different sizes, not a sponsor. In fact, this is actually a gift from Laura and Aaron over at Garden Answer. If you've not seen their channel, well, number one, you're probably living under a rock. Don't take that the wrong way. They are a huge gardening channel and they are amazing. Laura, thank you so much. I absolutely love the friendship that we built over the years of knowing each other on YouTube. And she's a really, really great gardener. Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. But she sells these over on her website, and she sent some of them to us knowing that we were going to be planting a bunch of trees. And so she sent a wider auger for us to be able to plant trees with, but then also the smaller auger for planting bulbs, and that's what we're gonna use today. So I'm just gonna basically make some holes here. And we're gonna make just a ton of holes. We're gonna throw a ton of bulbs into the ground. And we're gonna get them growing. So the bulbs that we're planting, like I said, I've got these right here. These are the saffron crocus. Now these things are small. These are the saffron bulbs, and look at them. They are so cool. They're just the coolest little, they almost look like, they look like a little mini coconut almost, like the husk. It's just so, they're so odd looking. They're like fuzzy, kind of furry. I don't know. They're very unique, but they look kind of, like I said, like a little mini coconut kind of, if a coconut was pointed. So that's kind of the cool thing is we're going to plant them here pretty aggressively. And then as they start to multiply and divide, I'm looking for them to just kind of continue to fill out. It'd be so cool. The other really great thing with these spring bulbs here, whether it's a daffodil, whether it's a crocus, or even a grape hyacinth, these saffron crocus are edible, which is extra, extra cool. But all these fall bulbs, you can actually grow them. Many people will throw them right in their lawn, believe it or not. You can throw them right in your lawn. And then when they grow up, they flower in the early spring, you can mow them over. You can mow them right over, and they will grow right back in the spring. They'll go right back. They'll basically stay as tall as you keep the grass mowed. So we keep the grass mowed to like right around 3.5 inches or so. And that is plenty tall enough to keep these saffron crocus nice and happy right here where they're planted. And so I'm actually geeked to get these things in the ground. Now I know you're probably gonna ask, Luke, are you fertilizing? Luke, what are you doing for the soil? Luke, what's the soil quality like? Honestly, I'm just chucking them in. The soil quality is really good. Don't get me wrong, I think the soil quality could be better, but it's certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I think, you know, once these bulbs get growing here, I think it'll take them maybe a year to get established, and then it'll be off to the races. They'll start multiplying and dividing out, and they'll look awesome once they all start blooming here. I was gonna do some on the other side of the drive. The only problem with the other side of the drive is this actually had fresh topsoil when they were doing the earthwork. This all got fresh, beautiful topsoil. Behind you, it's a little heavier clay, and it's gonna take some time for the cover crop to really loosen and soften that soil. I'd be concerned about throwing the saffron crocus in behind you. So I think we're just gonna kind of keep working this way with it, maybe up this way, fill it out this way with the crocus, and then we'll work on that other side later once we get some nicer soil built over there. So let's keep going. And look who came! Check this out. Perfect timing. We're just finishing up planting the saffron crocus, and we got our new tractor. Let's go check it out.
That's wonderful. You're growing trees.
We're growing an orchard. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
Pleasure to meet you. So, quite literally, you saw us filming, and your name is?
Edward.
Edward. And Edward said, "You filming a video?" I said, "Yeah, we're filming a video for our channel. We have quite a few subscribers," and I told him we had 1.4 million. And he said, "I got a small channel." He said, "You got how many? 301?"
300, maybe 11.
311. And you do videos on just transport?
The stuff that I haul, you know, cars, if they're like classic cars, a lot of agricultural equipment.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
That's super cool. We'll put Edward's link to his YouTube channel in the description.
Fast Eddie Transport.
Fast Any Transport. Yeah, we got it from a dealer about probably almost 45 minutes, an hour from here. Just a good price on a tractor we were looking for. We've been on the hunt for a tractor for a long time, for a second backup tractor, and so he's doing the delivery. What are the odds of that? We found another fellow YouTuber.
Tractor.
Yeah. No, we do a lot of mulch. We do a ton of mulch, obviously, as you can see.
Yeah.
And so one of our biggest concerns was the rental cost of renting a second tractor, because
it's better to buy it.
It is. It's so much better to buy it, because we were spending about $1,000 a week to rent. We call this like a loader. So this is like our loader tractor to load our mulch spreader.
Sure.
And so when we are using the mulch spreader, we're running it like $1,000 a week.
That's crazy.
I know, and that's like the going rate from 3 or 4 different rental companies.
I know tractors pretty well.
Yeah.
So there's a green one, a red one, a blue one, a white one. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, nice
Cool.
meeting you.
Hey, great meeting you.
Good luck
Thanks
with
so much.
your gig here. That looks pretty nice. So
Yeah.
you're going to be selling apples and things like
In
that?
about 2 or 3 years, yeah, we'll have apples available. We got some this year, but they're just getting growing. So.
Nice.
Yo! Well, if that was not the most exciting thing that's happened all week, I don't know what is. So here she is. It is not a new tractor. It is our new tractor because tractors are expensive. But what we got noticing was we needed a second tractor. If you didn't catch that conversation I had with Edward, the reason why we needed a second tractor is because we were renting a second tractor. Every time we ran the mulch spreader, we needed a tractor with a bucket to load the mulch into the mulch spreader. We also then needed a tractor that could run a second brush hog or a mower. And because we had one tractor, that one tractor could run the mulch spreader, but then if we were running a mulch spreader and a mower, or even just the mulch spreader, the second tractor was kind of there was an Achilles heel of the farm. It really slowed us down and ended up costing us a lot of money. Now, I know when I'm going to say this that it's going to seem so insane to a lot of people, but you have to remember, this is a 40-acre farm. It's also a business. Businesses take money to get started. So when I say that we spent $9,000 in tractor rentals over the course of this summer, that was at $1,200 a week for 8 weeks. We had 8 weeks of tractor rentals at $1,200 a week. And like I said, that's the going rate. We couldn't find a tractor rental for cheaper than that. They run about $150 a day. And 7 days in the week, that's what it is. And you're not going to find any cheaper than that. So when we spent $9,000 in tractor rentals, I said, I found this online and I thought, what the heck? This thing, we have it on a 6-year payoff plan. It's on a 6-year payoff plan, no interest, 0% interest. We pay it every single month. This comes out to cost us about $200 a month. $200 a month versus $1,000 a week. From a business perspective, this is a great investment. This is a great investment, and it's going to be something we can use. It's going to help us here on the farm. It's a 2018 Kubota L3901, so it's about 39 horsepower. It's a great powered tractor. It's a shuttle shift, so it's not a hydrostatic. That means it has a stick shift, so it takes a little bit more learning to get used to. But in terms of longevity, the cost of parts to replace, everything about this tractor, this will last us 25, 30 years without a doubt if it's kept in good working condition. So I hope you guys kind of understand the reason why. I know it just seems wild to have 2 tractors, but it's something that the farm needs. So let's go harvest some sunflowers. Finally, we're going to harvest some sunflowers. So a lot of you ask me how we harvest sunflowers and not have them become animal food. So some of these are actually going to be animal food, but we don't want the animals to eat them right here. We're going to hang them from some trees for animal food, and then the rest we're going to bring inside to roast. And so what we want to look for is there's 3 phases to a sunflower, and the first phase is the growing phase. Then it's the blooming phase. Actually, sorry, my bad. There's 4 phases. So there's the growing phase, then there's the blooming phase, then there's the green phase, and then there's the browning phase. So what we want is we want to catch them in between the green phase and the brown phase. That happens after the sunflower actually blossoms and it starts to hang its head down like it's sad. That is when birds will start to come in when the sunflower starts to dry and use it as food. And so what we'll notice about a lot of these sunflowers, they still have their petals attached. They fall off really easily, but that's because the seeds inside are fully formed. They're just waiting for the petals to drop off. Look at that one, that's beautiful. The inner seeds are always going to be underdeveloped and immature, usually having a higher water content as well. But we take them like that, right in between that green phase and brown phase. They're starting to turn kind of yellow and yucky looking. That's the ideal phase. You'll notice not a single seed has been taken. These are some gray stripe ones here. These are real good snacking sunflower seeds here. I got some more gray stripe there. It's not too bad. That one looks a little bit sad, but we'll take off all the leaves. Those are unnecessary. They only harbor bugs and stuff. And we keep a nice long stem on them so we can string them up, because that's what we string them up like this. We let them dry indoors, strung up like this. They hang from their old stems that we clip off, give something for the string to bite into so it holds it like this. It's an old Amish technique that we learned from our Amish friends that grow sunflowers, and it is so unbelievably easy to do. So if you've ever grown sunflowers and you want to grow sunflowers and not feed the wildlife, that is how you do it. And if you're looking for more information on sunflowers, we actually did a blog post on our website all about how to grow sunflowers, harvest the heads without feeding the wildlife, if you want even more in-depth information. So I hope that helped. And these are going to be used for, like I said, we're going to hang some from the tree throughout the winter to feed the birds. And this is an example, and then some are going to get snacked on. But this is a prime example of one that's gone too far. You'll see, this is a great example. So this is the browning phase. It's starting to brown. It's going from the green phase. It's already done flowering. It's already done blooming. The flowers have been pollinated and it's starting to die. It's starting to turn brown. You don't want to wait until your sunflower turns completely brown like this, because if you do, you are going to have so many insects, mold, mildew, birds coming in here, eating these seeds. You're gonna have beetles and nasty insects coming in for your sunflowers. The same exact quality product. Like when these are fully dry, they'll look just like these. When these are fully dry. So rather than let them sit outside and do that and get all nasty and wet and moldy and mildewy and buggy and animally, harvest them a little bit early, take them inside, hang dry them, and then you got yourself an amazing end product. Check it out, look at that. Look at that beautiful seeds. And lastly, let's try one, just to see how they taste. Unroasted, raw, really good, really good. That's again kind of another reason why I prefer to harvest them early. They've got some bug damage on this one, so leave that for the wildlife. So we're gonna come in here, harvest a few more to take inside. It's just a really fun treat to hang in some pine trees or some low-hanging branches for the winter, because you hang them down like this and oh my gosh, the birds just go nuts. The cardinals, the blue jays, the house finches, they just go absolutely nuts for these sunflower seeds. So, and we'll have some to snack on as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. And I want to remind you all that you guys are the best part of my day. Every time I get to make a video, it makes me so happy to hang out with you guys. I really want to thank you all for hanging with us and for enjoying the content that we produce, even when it's not always exactly like what you normally expect. We always try to add something fun, something informational, something entertaining, and I'm just so glad that you guys are on this journey with me, and I'm really having a ton of fun on this journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. See ya. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care. Bye.